Okie dokie. It is time. Once again, I return talking shit about politics. There's been a lot of things going on around the world, not just in the United States and not just in Venezuela, but around the world. There was the Iran protest escalation. There's the US Assembly going on. There's the President of Colombia talking shit, which is kind of hilarious, to be fair. Let me see if I can find it. Like, the President of Colombia taunted Trump quite heavily. So we were guessing yesterday who's going to be next. And based on the past 24 hours and what the President of Colombia said, I think it's going to be Colombia. And Trump even said that Colombia's president is not going to be the President of Colombia that much longer. I'll find you that specific speech that he gave. He technically called the whole United States pedophiles. I have to give credit where credit is due. That was a baller move. Ronaldo, Messi. I'm a Barcelona fan, so it's going to be Messi. I've been a Barcelona fan since the 90s, though. So no, I didn't become a Barcelona fan because of Messi. I was already a Barcelona fan way before Messi came. Prime Minister of India, Rahul Gandhi. Hala Madrid. Fuck no. Nah. Like, hey, Dub Dog, thanks for the heart and go popular. But talking about football a bit, I do appreciate how good Ronaldo is and was. Well, not technically is anymore. Aishin, what up? So I don't really get baited by asking about Ronaldo or Messi because, well, I think both of them are exceptionally good players. Like, both of them are in the greatest of all time conversation, 100%. India president is Prime Minister is Modi. Yeah, I know. I don't know why he said Rahul Gandhi, but that was a weird thing to say. If you keep calling me Madame, like when you address me correctly, then I'll answer to you. USA will now capture Venezuela's 17 trillion oil reserve. Yep. True. Sorry, no worries. But like, Trump kind of told already what's gonna happen. Like, he literally, White House tweeted what Trump wanted to say, which is like, this is our hemisphere. So it's gonna be the United Americas quite soon. White House. I'll show you guys. This is our hemisphere. Department of State. That's words from a madman. But I have to say that good luck to anybody in North America and South America. And good luck to anybody in the world. Like, if Trump's plans are actually like trying to take over. I mean, he kinda is. Like, the hemisphere is consisted of like individual sovereign countries instead of just United States. And Trump acting like he can decide what the countries do, who runs those countries, and who they do business with, is something that Kind of sounds like something that would have happened 100 years ago. Greenland also USA might capture. Oh yeah, they said that they want Greenland. Venezuela on a knife edge for martial law at the moment. I mean, it's unfortunate, but I do see a potential civil war. I disagree Trump making the world better. I don't think so. I think Trump is making the world more unstable. What up, Bobby? And Trump calling it our hemisphere and already saying that, like, not just Trump, but Rubio and Hexed and Stephen Miller and everybody are saying that they will decide for the countries inside the hemisphere, like in North America and South America. United States don't have any say in sovereign countries' business, you know? They shouldn't have. He can decide if they're running trucks into America, Mexico, Cuba, Colombia, Chevy next. I mean, yeah, their own border, yeah. By all means, stop them in your border and capture them. But as the president of Mexico just, I think it was an hour or two ago, said that whatever happens inside their country is their own issue. And that's how it's supposed to be. Now what happens if China invades Taiwan? They will also say it's okay. I'm gonna think that I'm pretty sure that we're gonna see a next level hypocrisy there. That the United States is gonna wiggle their fingers and say that's wrong. Maduro had people eating the zoo animals back in 2016. Like, I have not, in any of my streams or any of my videos, said that Maduro is a good guy. So, Russell, I don't know what you're trying to do, but we have an agreement to protect them. I mean, invasion is invasion. They're taking over another country, deciding who's going to lead that country. Even though the ambassador of the United States said in the UN Assembly that it's not an invasion, it's not war, and it was only a law enforcement operation. So the law enforcement operation is over. They captured Maduro and Maduro's wife. If they put some boots on the ground and start running the country, as Trump said, that's invasion. Cuba next, drug cartels of Colombia and Mexico. Those drug cartels and issues that countries have are their own issues. They poison children. Sometimes a whip hand is needed. Look at Iraq. Batman, yes, keep country in line. I mean, did you see what happened to Iraq after the United States left there? It's the war on drugs, but not their own, in their own country. Like the pharmaceutical companies inside the United States has created more death and addiction than any cartel outside throughout like the 2000s. That's 26 years now that we're living in 2026. That's 26 years of addiction and death and suffering. What up, Sarumbelskin? So if we want a war on drugs, we should also put the pharmaceutical companies up for trial and jail them, right? If you don't know anything about what the pharmaceutical companies have done throughout the 2000s, I recommend reading or watching documentaries about them because they are really well documented. We're still on Trump doctrine for a while. We have other things to talk about today, other than Trump. We have actually, Palestine is one of the things we're talking about today. We can actually jump into that one. We can come back to Maduro in a bit. I'll change the text on TikTok. Israel. Well, let's just Gaza situation. Because there has been some escalations in Gaza. It's not about trucks, though. Like, I'll return to that topic about like what Trump is doing in Venezuela. If anybody thinks still that's about trucks, go look at the indictment that the DOJ released. There was not a single mention of fentanyl, and that was their original reason why they went there. You know why there was no mentioning of fentanyl there? Because Venezuela wasn't one of the biggest fentanyl distributors to the United States. Not even close. Oil and minerals. Oil and minerals and control. Because Russia and China were Venezuela's main business partners. And the United States can't have that. And to be fair, if you throw millions of dollars to a campaign to a president, you kind of want return for your investment. He said it himself. Yeah, that's Zarambulskinskin. I don't understand why that's such a hard thing to understand to a lot of people. That he said it himself. It's about oil. It is honesty. Yeah, that's true. No, Canada is save Canada, Trump. Canada, what? The only way Fent is coming via Venezuela is if it's via China. It's not about the truck, because Mexico #1 for real truck sales. Oh yeah. Mexico and Colombia. But unfortunately, they're going to be next. So Canada is China. Ras, no, it's not. But let's talk about a real tragedy that's still ongoing on top of everything else, which is like Israel's breaking of the ceasefire once again in multiple different ways. I don't even think we can call it a ceasefire anymore. Also told Iran, we are locked and loaded if they take action against protesters. Then we don't want to see this news that they actually have now killed 20 people, 20 protesters in Iran, and they're prisoned 1,000. So Iran is gonna be probably next. There was a lot of Israeli officials already posting like hourglass pictures and flags of Iran. So, and the poor people of Gaza suddenly feel like old news, those poor souls. I read news about Gaza, and I want to talk about Gaza as much as possible. It was just a few days ago, just before Venezuela, was the last time I talked about the atrocities that's happening in Gaza. And I do want to highlight that because that is still an ongoing thing. And Israel has allegedly extended the yellow line, which is a breach of the ceasefire agreement. And also they've again killed children, which is not only a breach of ceasefire, but also just fucking barbaric. Wow, so anti-Semitic. You do know that criticizing Israel's government isn't anti-Semitic. If you can't see that Mike the Menace, you have a bit of an issue. I have nothing against any religion. Apparently I need to make this disclaimer again. Whether I criticize the United States, United States government, I'm not criticizing Christianity. If I'm criticizing the Russian government, I'm not criticizing Orthodox Christianity. If I criticize Iran, I'm not criticizing Islam. If I criticize Israel, I'm not criticizing Judaism. If you can't differentiate those, I can't help you. It is impossible to imagine what these people are going through. It is like, I know people and I have friends from Lebanon. So they can't tell me, but it's still, even they say that it's nothing compared to what's happening in Gaza. Yes, anyone who criticizes Israel is anti-Semitic. Israel is always the good guy. I mean, if you're, Mike the Menace, if you're happy about your government and your leader, Benjamin Netanyahu, happily killing children and women, I mean, you're a really bad guy. You're a really bad person. And if you believe in something, I hope you go to the version of hell that religion has. I don't believe myself. It's hilarious. Trump actually has his racist followers pretending to care about Venezuelans. Did they want to carpet bomb their entire country just a week ago? Oh yeah, like MAGA is broken. Like MAGA is split in two. If only people could experience it. Children, like, yeah, like the most devastating thing about Gaza and Palestine in general is like there was an interview of this is like a few years ago, I think in the 2019s, when there was a few children from Gaza and they were asked what they want to be when they grow up, and they said that alive. Like that is the level of cruelty that those children especially go through. Here's my conspiracy, if you will. Putin made a deal with Trump in lieu of Ukraine, and with Venezuela the next Iran, it's going to hurt oil for... Zarumble Stinskin, if you want to go even deeper on that conspiracy, there was actually documents that Putin made a deal to Trump on his first term that if Putin gets Ukraine, they will leave Venezuela. But of course, that's off the table now. As you shouldn't. We can all agree a real leader can solve conflict with words and sacrifice the life of its people. What do you think about Taiwan situation? Like, I've been all for like independent Taiwan and independent Hong Kong for a while. And that's probably why I'll never set foot on China. And also free Tibet. It is unfortunate that Taiwan is rendered to the situation that they are. If Taiwan gets attacked, tech stocks will collapse. Oh yeah. But yeah, like, again, as we're talking about Israel and as we're talking about Gaza, you know what really irks me? These people who boast about American military power, and in the same argument they will claim moral high ground. I mean, do these people listen to themselves? Yeah. It's kind of like split in two. I have a lot of friends from red states, and they vote Republican because they've always voted Republican. And even they are like, yeah, but I mean, in the presidential elections, we kind of needed to vote Republican, even though we didn't 100% agree with. I have friends from Idaho and South and North Carolina, and also from Texas. China will do. Yeah, China will take over Taiwan. And that's unfortunate, especially now that they are seeing what's happening in the American hemisphere. I think Taiwan is now getting a green light to do what they want. And that's sad. It's like beyond ignorance, isn't it? Like, we literally can't see the pain and suffering it causes. Yes, like, my wife literally was on the brink of tears just reading of all the death that happened last year. And not to mention, like, death that has happened throughout this conflict. Occupation. Stealing of land, stealing of homes, stealing of life. The world's most sophisticated army. And they need to kill innocent lives, especially children and women. Their hit rate on women and children is incredible, but their hit rate in like Hamas terrorists are horrible. It's like beyond ignorance, isn't it? Like, we literally can't see the... Shut the fuck up, you. No, I want Big Blanca. If you can't handle this, you can just go, you know. Like, I don't enjoy talking about children dying. Do you think ASML will skyrocket up if Taiwan get attacked? I mean, Taiwan situation in general is going to be interesting because the United States is pumping weapons there and is also investing quite a lot of money there. So I wonder if China can just walk in there and steal. So, and because, as you said, there's a lot of like chip manufacturing. So it's going to be interesting to see. I'm not going to predict like the market. I'm not that sort of a person. China is already a big loser here. Their military hardware failed miserably. They wouldn't do these types of strikes if there was a terrorist in an Israeli hospital. I mean, Echo, Israel is the government of Israel, like the ministers inside Israel's government and also their prime minister, they constantly dehumanize every single Gazan, every single Palestinian. They use dehumanizing words and dehumanizing phrases to make it okay to kill anyone. Referring to killing Gazan children as mowing the lawn, calling them roaches, calling them snakes, like that sort of dehumanizing talk. If you go back in history, if you remember history, remember history in the 1900s, you do find similarities in that sort of talk throughout history. And that is always being used to justify horrible acts of cruelty and horrible acts of collective punishment. And it is weird that we're seeing that in 2026 still. Yes, Netanyahu compared Palestine to Moloch from Hebrew Bible. That is true. And it's that sort of talk. Israel will kill their own citizens to keep them from getting kidnapped as an order of battle. Israel doesn't care about their own citizens. The IDF headquarters is in a heavily populated area. Oh yeah. Mossad also. It's like in the middle of like civilian buildings. It's incredible how humanity and empathy can be deconstructed within people. But this is the way that they have achieved it. And also by buying like politicians in the US, if you can see, as is Mossad. Yeah, I don't know about Xpeng. History repeats itself. That's the sad thing. Like, not just only like in Gaza and Israel, but other places as well. History is repeating itself. And if you think about like this specific war, it's not even a war, it's one-sided. So this is just, we're witnessing a slaughtering of human lives. Didn't one of the Chinese car manufacturers just bypass Tesla as the most sold EV car? I remember a live news broadcast in Iraq, a row of dead children on their blanket, and one was scratching their noses. Oh yeah. That was BYD, yeah. I don't have anything against Chinese cars. Like, some of their cars are like really advanced. Five-year-old and her uncle killed in airstrike in Gaza as Israel says it's targeted an immediate threat. Yes, because a 5-year-old is an immediate threat to the security of one of the most sophisticated and most powerful armies and militaries in the world. Tesla's still popular in Norway somehow. I think it's because like a lot of European countries have limited like the availability of Chinese cars. So don't show concern for these people. What? And as if that wasn't enough, they changed it in 2nd century, so the Jews aren't even doing it correctly. The Muslims aren't supposed to do it either. So don't show concern for these people. A bunch of... Nah. I feel like this is where I differ from a lot of people. I feel bad for death in general. The people that run the state of Israel believe Jesus boils in pieces for eternity, yet the primary message of American evangelist Christianity is the state of Israel is Christian. Sorry to be the devil's advocate, but so are we fine with Hamas ideology? No. Hamas is a terrorist organization. Hamas should be tried for crimes against humanity, not just what they did to the citizens of Israel, but also what they have done to the citizens of Palestine. So Hamas should be tried for crimes against humanity and sentenced. in the same breath, like, we should trial the government of Israel, the ministers, and Netanyahu for crimes against humanity. I am not okay with Hamas, and I am not okay with the government of Israel. That's why I think a joint military force from the UN, like UN countries, should intervene, stop the fucking killing, put both side terrorists into justice in front of a court and sentence them. You know, reminder that USSR armed the Jews who did the Nakba. What up, Korki? Yeah, both sides have done cruel things. Oh yeah, 100%. And that's why I don't understand how also leaders of like Western countries and even like in the East are just sitting by and letting this happen. There should have been an intervention already. These 5-year-olds aren't Hamas kids. Yeah. The kids aren't Hamas. But Hamas has also done atrocities, just like Hezbollah has done atrocities, just like Boko Haram in Nigeria has done atrocities. ISIS, Al-Qaeda. The list is quite long. EU didn't even say anything about Venezuela. I know they're just fucking scared of the United States. States don't operate on morals. States operate by what is beneficial or how it affects the state. That's the problem. That's the problem. The snake hiding in the grass. Did you see how? Hey, let's not again use dehumanizing. Let's talk with real, because we're talking about human lives here. Let's not talk about and try to dehumanize humans. That is not what we do. That is not what this chat is about, and this is not what the live stream is about. It's like leaders are fighting for the moral low ground. Yeah. That is actually really well said. An Israeli strike in Gaza on Monday hit a tent housing displaced people, killing a 5-year-old girl and her uncle, and wounding 2 other children, hospital officials say. The strike took place in the Muvasi area northwest of Khan Younis in the southern Gaza Strip. Officials at Nasser Hospital said the Associated Press couldn't independently vary those details. Family members wept over the bodies as they were brought to the hospital. The dead are among the more than 400 people killed in Gaza since an October ceasefire began, according to the Gaza Health Ministry. EU can't say much because you can. I mean, EU is kind of just scared about the United States, so they need to be really careful what they say. The world didn't also do anything to stop the Rwandan genocide and let it happen, and the results were horrifying. 100%. That is wild to me, because if the world would have reacted in the past into like potential brewing conflicts or potential brewing civil wars or wars in general, there would have been a lot of death avoided. But apparently our leaders in the world hasn't still learned anything. And EU and all Democrats in the US called for removal of Maduro. I mean, Maduro was a dictator, so 100% on that one. I'm curious, what about the USA troops for peacekeeping in Gaza? In the 90s, as a kid, I thought the internet would help solve global conflicts. I was also quite naive when it came to like internet in the 90s and in the 2000s. But it was quite fast in the 2000s that I realized that, yeah, this is not gonna like solve any proper problem. This is just gonna escalate a lot of things. I mean, USA is biased when it comes to the Gaza conflict. That's why there should be a joint UN peacekeeping. Being a dictator doesn't give another country the right to invade, though. It's the locals who have to remove the dictator. Yeah, I mean, I would consider this specific war, Gaza, Israel, like Palestine and Israel war, an anomaly when it comes to conflicts. Because the country of Israel was formed by the United Nations after the Second World War. So in a sense, it is kind of the United Nations thing to solve. The locals tried. Go check out how it's USA peacekeeping troops there. No, they. I mean, there's Irish peacekeepers in Lebanon though, because they are not led to go into Gaza. And I know there's a lot of Finnish also in Lebanon because they are not let to go to Gaza. I know Finnish peacekeepers in Lebanon. So Israel doesn't want deal peace. I feel they've been waiting for this moment for long. I mean, they are already like hinting that Iran has like their days numbered. Luthen, thanks for the follow. Israel is our fallen brothers, agree. What? What up, Baron? I think that's Baron 666, right? Speaking of Israel, should we talk about Israel? Israel, no, Iran, I mean. I think it's Iran time. If you haven't followed the news, it's just what left from Israel only name. Over 20 deaths. Some reports say that it's closer to 30, some say even higher than that. But about 20 or more are dead in the Iran protests and also thousands arrested. Which means that if Trump was serious with this threat, they're gonna intervene sometime in the near future, if they were serious about the threat. What I feel is that the dictator knows the local faultiness much better than outsiders, and hence they are able to keep in the country together. Outside regime change messes this balance. Back in the 70s, North Korea stole a container ship full of Sweden Volvos. NATO did nothing. Sweden wasn't a part of NATO then. And to be fair, like, at least they got good cars. Like, Volvos are really nice. I'm trying to understand about Gaza and the USA peace troops being there. After Saturday night, I wouldn't doubt Trump. Yeah. Sweden joined NATO just a few years ago, together with Finland. Before that, Sweden wasn't a part of NATO. How do I know? Well, I'm Finnish, so... It was a huge debacle when Finland joined NATO. A lot of right-wingers were against it because a lot of our right-wingers were pro-Russia. So they were calling that an escalation to the conflict, future conflict with Russia. How ironic of Trump to pretend to want to protect protesters while he tried during first time to author Assad shooting protesters. It was only stopped because they were, yeah. Turkey was told to cede parts of Cyprus by UN. They rejected. Hope to see you at the darts championship. Oh my fucking god! Again, we're talking about darts. I don't even look like that darts player. UN asked Pakistan to vacate Pakistan occupied Kashmir. They rejected. The Kashmir situation is kind of well. There's an interesting story coming from like Kashmir and the border of Pakistan and India that I'm still investigating because I don't know if it's 100% true. It sounds like a conspiracy. So I'm still like looking into that one. I have a few friends who live in Kashmir, so even they said that they've heard rumors but nothing like concrete. So they promised to snoop around and ask around. Hope to see you at the Dance Championship. We are so close to World War III. I think we're gonna skip. This is probably a hot take, but I think we're gonna skip World War III, and we're just gonna have like 3 superpowers handling the whole the world. 3 or 4. What's the conspiracy? Because there's been a lot of disappearance. I will dip my finger a little bit in this because I don't know if it's 100% like fact, but there's been a lot of random people, not even like military personnel, but random people. Some of those were as young as like 16, 17, 18 years old, and some of them were like elderly, like 60 or 70 years old. And they go missing, and then their bodies are discovered in a completely different place. On the India-China border, they have agreed that they are not allowed to use guns, so the few times they came to conflict, they beat each other up with sticks and poles. Echo, I love that. I think every single conflict should be handled like that. No guns, just use your fists, your fucking feet. I don't know. Even like sticks and poles would be fine. Like, I would love that. Go back to that time. But yeah, Rumpelstiltskin, that's the conspiracy. Well, I don't know if it's a conspiracy, but it is something that I found quite a lot of like information. But I still don't know if that's verified. That's a de-escalation technique. But it is interesting, and of course, like I have Indian friends, and I absolutely agree on hand to hand. And I will, okay, let's solve war now. I think all wars should be fought between the leaders of the country inside an octagon. What do you think? Hell yeah. We could also televise it and provide free healthcare for everyone from the televised protest. Sounds almost Running Man, mate. Yeah. The North Korean martial arts soldiers would win a lot then. No, the leaders. Not soldiers, the leaders. So it would be Trump against Kim Jong-un. It would be Alexander Stubb versus Vladimir Putin. Or Zelensky versus Putin. But then we get to that like controversial like matches, like the president of Mexico against, I don't know, let's say Trump, for example. It's like that's not really a fair fight because Trump is really old and the female president of Mexico would win. Pay-per-view. Oh yeah, that would be great content. And that would also, all the profits would go to something good or something like that. All conflict, all disagreements should be, the leaders go inside the octagon. Like, let's say their foreign ministers disagree on something. Yeah, just put some gloves on, some helmets, put them in an octagon, and let them dish it out. And whoever wins, that's how we go. Or better yet, if we don't want violence, we can put them and, I don't know, play Rocket League, FIFA, some video game, Tetris. First time I'm hearing about it, Kashmir disappearances. Yeah. I literally, the first time I heard about it, or saw about it, was the first week of December. And it was literally just like on my YouTube feed. I watched the video and it was like 17 minutes long or something like that. And I was like, that's kind of interesting. And I went to sleep and I woke up the next day and I was like, I wonder if there's something to that. And then I started like searching about it and I found something more and I was like, okay, this is a known conspiracy theories website, so I can't really trust this. And then when I went back to work, I asked my friends from India, have they heard about it? And they said the same thing, that they haven't heard anything about it other than like rumors. I bet there would be fights and they would pay the other guy to lose probably. Oh yeah, but if they get caught by corruption, they would be executed. Let's talk about Iran now. We're like kind of drifting on sideways here. So the Iran protests are going still. It's been going for 9 days, and there's been a lot of videos and a lot of statements made by different head of states around the world, especially when it comes to with Iran from the topic. Okay, calm down. Human rights activists have said protests have taken place in the 26th of the country's 31 provinces since last week, and at least 19 protesters and one member of the security forces have been killed, which is 20. There was also 3 children who died. Trump warned on Sunday night that Iranian authorities would be hit very hard if more protesters died. We're watching it very closely. If they start killing people like they have in the past, I think they're going to get hit very hard by the United States. He told reporters on Air Force One. There's another fight for influence currently in Bangladesh. It's not talked about much. I've been talking about how they drove the ex-prime minister of Bangladesh away because she got charged for crimes against humanity, and she was sentenced to death for being a part of killing 1,500 student protesters. See, Rumpelstiltskin, I know. And she's now in exile in India. Iran has like 2 secret police kind of groups. The IRGC and Basi. So 2 times the brutalities. Yes. But I do think that Iran is gonna feel that warm hug of a democratic country coming towards them, flying on a bald eagle. You know, if anything goes the same as like throughout the weekend, they're gonna feel the full might of the America, and of course like Israel. Israel is always willing to attack Iran. So on Monday, Iran's judiciary's chief, oh my God, Gholam Hossein Mohazi AJ said authorities would listen to protesters and critics who legit and rightly have concerns about their livelihood and social and economic welfare. I mean, the country's in the shitter at the moment, so. But he added that they would deal firmly with those who seek to exploit the situation, incite riots, and undermine the security of the country and the people. I don't see peace ever coming to Israel and its neighbors. It's like they don't want peace. I mean, I don't know if this is a huge surprise to any, but war is a really good business. War and death is one of the best industries to be doing business. And that is probably also the reason why they are still getting upheld. You know? And it's not a secret, though. Well, Iran's capital Tehran has serious water shortages, so much that rationing will likely be implemented. When people don't have the basic necessities, they can do radical things. Look at Russia 1917. Ooh, yeah. Always at the cost of the people. Yeah, I mean, people want to make money. People want to make money. And they don't, like, immediately when you have a bit of, like, more cash on you, a lot of people fault their morals because they can make a bit more. My wife, who's a hardcore capitalist, actually said the first anti-capitalist thing ever during the weekend, and was like, my wife said, why the fuck do there need to be billionaires? It doesn't make a fucking difference if you have 100 million or 200 million, or if you have 500 million or you have 1 billion. And my wife is a hardcore capitalist. Where is Iran's Pahlavi currently based? He released statements from time to time. I have no idea. Neighboring countries also often support the dictators because the fall would most likely cause a war, which will create a lot of refugees coming to their countries. Yes. War never changes. It's a business. It's an ongoing like business that you kind of want it to go on as far as possible. Exactly. See, Ukraine is full of a bunch of private companies. It's all about money and power. I mean, do you want to talk about Ukraine? Beg to differ. You ever buy a 80 million home at worth of 100 million? The house is too expensive. Oh my god. Tell me. This is also my daughter said my older daughter said one of the best things ever, which I was kind of proud of. Like they were having a discussion in school, and my daughter said that there's a difference between need and want. Why don't people understand that? Like, for example, I can't understand why anyone would need $100 million house. They might want one. Even that is completely bizarre to me. Why the fuck would you want a $100 million house? Because you could use that, like a large portion of that 100 millions to better. But yeah, like I think I've succeeded like raising a really decent human being just for show. Why? I mean, I think it's like comes to personal preferences at the end of the day. I could never justify that. My family was super poor when I was growing up. And I'm still, even though now am doing relatively well, I would never justify myself to needlessly spend money. Because I still remember what it felt like being piss poor. Like literally. Fun fact, a $4 home is actually just $300,000 home years ago in a different part of the country. Creed period, yes. That's why my wife needs to do all the purchases we do, because it pains me to press, go to checkout and go through that. But we have donated quite a lot of trees, though. I do donate quite a lot of like extra wealth that we have, because we're doing quite well. So at least that's going somewhere. I don't know if they're actually planting trees, but they're promising that they are. Let's go back to Maduro. I donate to Ukraine. I've also donated to Ukraine. I have also donated to Ukraine. I'm on a fixed income. Venezuela situation. It's not a Venezuela situation anymore. It's America, right? America's situation, because Trump extended the situation to be America's. Maduro pleads not guilty on all 4 charges. That wasn't a surprise to any, right? The deposed leader of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, pleaded not guilty to all 4 counts against him, today including drug terrorism, conspiracy, cocaine importation, conspiracy, and possession of a machine gun and destructive devices. Men have morals, terms and conditions apply. But that's the difference. Like my wife comes from a way richer family than me. So I think that's the difference. She doesn't spend like needlessly. We don't buy shit. We buy a lot of secondhand stuff because a lot of people are throwing good secondhand like clothing and shoes and stuff that they've only wear like once. So we find a lot of good stuff there. The only thing I buy new are these black t-shirts that I think I have like fucking 30 of them. Secondhand is the best. I have 30 of the same black t-shirts. Like, and I use, this has a hole already somewhere. I think, yeah. Can you see it? There's a fucking hole in it. So once the hole rips all the way up here, I'm gonna swap to the next t-shirt, and I'm gonna wear the same t-shirt. Like, of course, I wash it from time to time, but these are gonna last for me like probably 10 years or so, and I don't need to buy any more t-shirts for the next 10 years. So that's how I do this. Also, like, I used to have a lot of shoes, but then I found out that that's really fucking stupid. So I donated majority of my shoes away. So now I only have like 4 pairs. Bro has that SpongeBob clothes. SpongeBob clothes. Yeah. What are they gonna charge Maduro's wife with? I think they charge it with the same thing, right? Christ is king. Nah. No, it's not. I mean, if you think so, go ahead. In my house, I am the king. I mean, it's not really a debate because, like, oh, I don't want to trash anybody's religion, but you do know that they are written by men and they are fictional. Christ is no more king than Aragorn from Lord of the Rings is a king, you know? And I would argue that Aragorn has a better claim to be a king than Christ. The real question, what's going to happen to Venezuela after the arrest? Even USA said we're going to lead Venezuela. Yeah. But then again, USA ambassador in the UN said that it's not an invasion. But then again, Trump said that they're going to lead Venezuela, so it is an invasion. They're not fictional. Show me historical evidence of Aragon. I'll dog work you in own life, brother. No. I mean, if you want to have your own little echo chamber talking about religion, go ahead. What proof do you have of God? That's a good question. Was there any plane crashes when they turned off the plane transporters? I heard the indictment all went through on Maduro. I mean, they already showed it to the jury of peers. So it was kind of predetermined even before Maduro came there. So this was just, they read the charges to Maduro, and they're going to continue within a few months. You guys, you can do better things with your time than just pulling crap. What the fuck are you talking about, David? Which confirms a Jewish prophecy written about Jesus 1,000 years before he was born, 5 years. Which confirms the Jewish prophecy written about Jesus 1,000 years before he was born and 500 years before the crucifixion existed. How old do you think the planet is? I mean, let him billions of years, but not according to the Bible, though. Wait a second, the Realdo, not according to the Bible. 3,000 years, of course. Not according to the Bible. Not according to your religion. Do you believe in God? I don't. Why would I? Why would I believe in a God that is willing to give bone cancer to children? So give me a verse. What do you mean? Show me where the Bible says the earth is 30,000 years old. Again, the real deal. If you want to talk about religion, you can find a religious stream somewhere. We're talking about politics. I don't believe in the Bible. Like, I don't think Bible is more any more credible than fucking Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. If I need to pick a religion that I think is the best one, or mythology, I would always pick the Norse mythology. That is the most interesting mythology there is. And you have as much proof that Jesus and God existed than Odin and Thor existed. I don't like that's the. I don't like whether you believe or not. That's your thing. Oh, lol. Life after death. I don't care about like we just it's lights out and you're dead. You cease to exist. There is no proof of afterlife. There's no proof that there's anything else. You can believe that there's something else, but there is no proof that there's anything else. It's lights out, you're dead. How many charges do Maduro got from USA? Was it? How about your loved ones gone? Yeah, everybody. And that's one of the reasons why people believe is because they're afraid of death and they're afraid of that there's nothing else. Bro, you look like a liberal. Okay. Cool story, bro. You spelled America situation wrong like the Sumerians. I want to look at that. So I did. Maybe that's intentional to be an icebreaker. We're talking about religion now. Maybe that was four-dimensional chess. Diversity of beliefs, opinions, no one's right, no one's wrong until it's proven. Yeah. I mean, if you want to believe, that's your own thing. I don't. Never to see loved one again is so hard. It is hard. And a lot of people need belief to cope with that. But it is what it is. Oh my god, my guy, they make testosterone injectable now, bro. What the fuck are you talking about, Alan West? Yo, guys, we're talking about politics. That is exactly. So let's not dabble in like stupid beliefs anymore. Let's talk about politics. So the Swiss federal government has announced that Switzerland has frozen any Swiss-based assets linked to Nicolas Maduro. In a statement, Swiss authorities said that the Swiss Federal Council had decided to freeze the assets held in Switzerland by Maduro and other persons associated with him with the immediate effect. Get a nice haircut, get girls from Eastern Europe, have kids, and you will return to normal mode. What the fuck are you talking about, Monene? Like, I have a wife, I had two daughters. That's more than you have. So, how about you get the fuck out? Interesting move from the Swiss federal government, though, to post those assets. Lawyers representing Maduro's wife, Celia Flores, told CBS News that she is in good spirits and that she is aware that there is a long road ahead and is prepared. USA justice systems are corrupted in many cases. They're gonna do big list for Maduro. I think the strongest case that the US, the New York court is gonna have against Maduro is because the US government doesn't recognize Maduro as the legit president of Venezuela. Because if they recognized him as the legit president of Venezuela, he would have immunity. But because they don't, I think that's going to be kind of a slam dunk, right? What we saw on today's Venezuelan parliament felt surreal. You're talking about the son of Maduro talking, or are we talking about the vice president who got sworn into, the interim president? I think Trump is a huge trouble legally. I mean, Trump kind of said that himself, that if they lose the midterms, they're all going to be charged criminally, which is kind of a weird thing to say, though. I hate Trump. I know it's for oil, but a dictator is behind bars. That's why it doesn't matter. Yeah, like, a dictator is behind bars. That is true. And Trump wants to take over the smaller countries in North America and also South America, which he already said. He's going to start with Colombia probably, because the president of Colombia is already like kind of mocking Trump, so Trump doesn't take that lightly. And then it's going to be Cuba, then it's going to be Mexico. God bless America. Do you think Maduro, he will get free trial? I don't think it's going to be like a proper trial. It's probably gonna be one of those, like, he's gonna be sentenced one way or another. Antonio Guterres, in the UN Secretary General, warned on Monday that the capture of Maduro risks intensifying instability in Venezuela and across the region. The US faced widespread condemnation for a crime of aggression in Venezuela at the emergency meeting of the United Nations. That was kind of a brutal thing to watch. I watched throughout, like, until I started streaming. I watched the United Nations Security Council meeting, and there was a lot of, like, bad talking points, and then there were some solid ones. I think one of the worst ones that was actually the US ambassador talking, because the US ambassador claimed that it wasn't it's not a war, it's not an invasion, and it was a law enforcement operation. Okay, I can be behind that. I can be okay with that if they just stopped with just taking Maduro. But unfortunately, we know for now that they are going to put US in charge of Venezuela. And US is going to decide who is going to be the next leader of Venezuela. If that's not an invasion, taking over a country, I don't know what is. So it's not a law enforcement operation. It is an invasion. Crazy how he chose the day of the already pushed due date of the release on... I mean, yeah. Okay, now I can play the Gustavo Petro one. So it's going to be in Spanish, so I can translate while we listen to him. But Gustavo Petro, who's the president of Colombia, said something. That's your opinion. No, it's not. Here they're saying that DLC has 60 days to call for a presidential election. Bogart, what was wrong that I said? The US ambassador said that it's not a war and it's not invasion. It was a law enforcement operation to capture Maduro. It is an invasion. They're taking over a fucking country. Militarily. I mean, Bogart, you can be delusional, but it is an invasion of a country. If they just took Maduro and Maduro's wife, that's we can play that that's a law enforcement operation. But if they take over a country, decide about their future, that is invasion. But we have no idea who the candidates will be. I mean, we do know who are going to select the candidates, and I'm not even sure there's going to be candidates. Because Trump said that the future leader is going to be somebody that's going to be friends with the US, and they're going to decide who it is. This is all over Trump being pissed at Xi. My favorite theory is that it's because Maduro put all of those dancing videos and mocking videos of Trump, and Trump couldn't handle it. But of course, that's probably not the case, right? But here's Petro Gustavo from Colombia.
Un clan de pedófilos quiere acabar la democracia en Colombia.
What Petro said there was, this is Petro talking about the whole situation. And Petro said, a clan of pedophiles wants to destroy the democracy in Colombia.
De pedófilos quiere acabar la democracia en Colombia. Duro, sí.
Harsh, yes.
Pero ahí está la realidad.
But that's the reality.
Y para que no salga la lista, entonces nos
And to keep the list from coming out, they sent warships to kill fishermen from this city and threatened the neighbor, talking about dictator and so on. An American as a foreign country president only in Trump's America. Is there democracy in Colombia? I mean, they claim there are. Is there democracy in the United States? Bad comparison, though. But whatever Colombia does, it's Colombia stuff. Like, you know, at the end of the day. If Colombia has an issue with drug cartels, it's Colombia's issue. I'm Greek, I have no idea what's going on. How's things in Greek? But yeah, like that was yesterday that Petro Gustavo said about like the pedophiles trying to attack. I just wish I could do a week without hearing about Trump. I can try, but what's gonna happen once Trump is no longer in office if a Democrat takes over? I don't think that's gonna be a case anymore. To be fair, an American is also president of Israel. It looked like to us though the Venezuelan people were happy about. Okay, ICE democracy is very nice. Okay, President Vance. I don't think like if you're planning to study abroad and you're guessing about admission or visa change, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna get a visa to the United States because they're gonna look like 5 years of my social media activity and I have some fucking dank memes of Vance and Trump. So they're not gonna let me get a tourist visa to the United States. I mean, the regime of Maduro is still in power, though. First name 70. Nothing really changed. They just took Maduro out. Of course, it kind of depends on if the vice president who was sworn in now is going to play ball with Trump. Yeah, but it will get dismantled. By whom? By the United States? What authority do they have? Do you know any Venezuelans? I do, and they hate Trump as much as Maduro. I mean, United States has no say in Venezuelan politics. Hey, Rich Uni, thanks for the follow. Why Trump is so worried that bro, he's going to drop in a few years. I wouldn't even give him few years. No worries, Echo. The reality was already on thin ice, and I just decided to block that out. The big, beautiful observatory. It's a sad and bad Venezuela, most rich country, but the people are damn poor. Trump works on behalf of little hats, and they care. It's the best defense and offense. I mean, the best offense is not following any fucking international law, but I mean, they got Maduro, which is, have to give them credit for that. If they just let it, if they just stopped it there, but they're too greedy, because the oil companies need that fucking hard crude oil, the heavy crude oil. What up from Ireland? Is this all about the oil? Does anyone believe Trump cares about the people? No, he doesn't. He's gonna select who's gonna lead Venezuela, not the people. He said that himself. And then he also said who's gonna be next. I love that this guy is clearly not American, so why is he even talking about Trump? Because, well, it is a global issue what that orange buffoon is doing. So what if it's about oil? Not yet, not until all of them are gone. If kidnapping heads of state is greenlit, the ICJ is going to have a field day. They kicked the US out after we spent millions to help them extract the heavy crude. Brilliant move. You don't speak for Venezuela. Charlie Kirk will not return in Avengers Doomsday. I do, yeah, that is true. Charlie Kirk will not return in Avengers Doomsday. Getting rid of the Chekhovs. About America, what kind of question is that? But your option is nothing, has no bearing or anything. US doesn't care about the ICC. You think that's a good thing? Yeah, I don't think Charlie Kirk is going to be in the Avengers Doomsday, unfortunately. EU Parliament should take action against USA because now he's again talking about Greenland. Yes, I do agree. Thanks to the idiot in charge of my country of Canada. No deal there, but Carney doesn't speak for. There are two issues here, the removal of the president of Venezuela and the actual act of doing it. Release the files. Yes, mind your own business. What the fuck are you talking about, Killy? Charlie's in the files. I don't think Charlie was in the files, though. Yeah. I don't think Charlie was in the files. That would be the plot twist of 2026 if he was in the files. Do you think Trump will attack Colombia? I mean, he already said that it's a good idea. He thinks it's a good idea to attack Colombia. And he said that the days are numbered for Petro. So it's not even a question if he's going to attack Colombia. It's going to be a question when he's going to attack Colombia. We're keeping the oil and the ships and we'll extract oil and minerals and nobody will do anything. I hope we break all ties with you and waste of our time, money and people. I mean, Colombia needs democracy. In his mind, Colombia and Greenland, yes, and Mexico and Cuba. Because Petro is a weak leader. Erica is though. You think Erica Kirk is in the Epstein files? I don't know about that. What about attacking Cuba? Yeah. Well, Marco Rubio wants Cuba, so Trump kind of downplayed the whole thing. Trump said that Cuba's going to fall by itself now that Venezuela is taken over, which was a bit of a Freudian slip because Trump said that now that they've taken over Venezuela, even though the ambassador of the US said that it's not an invasion, but about America, stop embarrassing the US. Yeah, well, Cuba, it's been a shithole for a long time. Colombia might have a higher score on democracy index than the US score. The UN only works because America says it does. None of the other countries have any say without that. That's a true American who's talking now. If your worldview is that you want as much instability in the world, good job. That is what we're getting. The UN, yeah, Colombia might have a higher score on democracy, yeah, if you like. Are you from Venezuela? If not, your opinion means nothing. Okay, I'm still gonna talk, and you're still gonna listen. That must fucking annoy you quite a lot. Especially because this is not a Venezuela issue, you do know that. There's a bit of a bigger global thing happening at the moment. I have not said that, user. Shut the fuck up. I have never said that it wasn't a good thing to remove Maduro. Polish Shades 2, thanks for the follow. Europe and Canada really ought to take the lead at this point. Probably need to. Russia, China, and UK maybe. These having permanent seats in the UN, so no, the US isn't the only country keeping the UN going. I mean, Eco, those are the bots on TikTok that are just spouting the same thing. They come to the chat, they spout the same thing, that USA, USA, people in Venezuela are celebrating, all of that stuff. Like probably half of the comments about this topic is about like comments like that, even though it's a global issue, not a local issue. Ego from St. Petersburg mostly, probably, yeah. I think his main point is Trump getting away with it with no consequences. Explain how it's a bad thing to take down a dictatorship. I know. If you just block the dictator, yeah, by all means. But if you invade another country and start deciding their politics, then that's a bit of another topic. Blocking that dictator out, good job. Oh, you're now leading the country. So you invaded that country. So it was not about the dictator, you just wanted to rule that country. Then that's a bit of a different topic, you know. This is all about deflecting from domestically. Trump has destroyed farming and the tourism industry. I mean, a lot of Americans don't want to talk about the farming stuff because, you know, Trump did the same thing in 2018, which is like fucked up the farmers by starting a trade war with China. Then Trump bailed them in 2018 for $12 billion. And now he did the same thing again, late 2025. Fucked the farmers over with a trade war and needed to bail them out for $12 billion. And it's the MO of creating an issue, then solving the issue that you created, and then tapping yourself on the back saying that you did a good job. Beiko Genshi, thanks for the follow. No, he's not enforcing democracy. He already said that the previous presidential candidate will not be the president. He said that the vice president of Maduro's regime is not going to be the president, and also the opposition leader will not be the president. So he's kind of deciding who's going to be the president, if there's even ever going to be a president. I agree, but China and Russia were bleeding us already. Yeah, 100%. Like China and Russia were bleeding. They were sucking the teeth of Venezuela for a long time. And USA was kind of butthurt about that because Venezuela was doing more business with them. Bet you're the life and soul of the party. I mean, usually when I drink and go to the party, I mellow down. To be honest, they might be calibrating, but what removed, but I doubt they like what came after. Oh yeah, 100%. Like that's one thing that a lot of people don't want to like compare. Is like a lot of people in Iraq was celebrating when Saddam was killed. They're not celebrating anymore. A lot of Libyans were celebrating. Well, not a lot of Libyans, but for shouldn't though. Buffering. Yep. No. It's YouTube again censoring me. Russia hit him with the AMP. I was talking too much anti-Russia propaganda. I'm embarrassed to be Jewish. Don't be. In human society, don't be embarrassed to be Jewish. Even though I'm critical of Israel, there's no need to be embarrassed about your religion. You know, that's just my take. No, I'm not sad. A YouTube commenter was sad. The space lasers, pew pew. That was holy. Some people look okay with long hair, but you're not one of them. I honestly thought you was a female. I mean, Jeff, you have some fucking issues with your eyes. You should check those out. I see that as a win for democracy, even if the decision was forced through military action. No. Most people don't give a shit about your hair. I mean, usually the people who talk shit about my hair are the ones that are balding. So it's just jealousy. Are you Nordic? Yeah, I am. Bolsheviks Jews killed over 60 million. Oh my, come on. Logi, thanks for the follow. Suomi, yeah. Long or short hair? Yeah, like literally the only reason I have long hair is because I got fucking tired of cutting it all the time because my hair grows so fast. And I'm still growing like new hair in the front and also in the back. So we can have a discussion about my hair if you guys want to. You don't have to be embarrassed about being a... No, definitely not. Like, as we've stated many times here in my chat, like, you can believe if you want to. I don't believe, but I don't discriminate anybody based on their religion. I only criticize governments. Looks of Rockstar have long hair. Come on, it's just now weird for men to have long hair. Even though, like, if you think about Ozzy Osbourne, if you think about, like, Ronnie James Dio, Richie Blackmore, if you think about, like, a lot of heavy metal and rock artists, they have long hair, but still it's a taboo in the Ruiz Rock time. Oh, fucking yeah. I've only been to Ruiz Rock once. No Democrat has ever gotten this kind of praise and love that President Trump is getting. Good job. We don't behave like Israelis. We respect universal human dignity and rights. Yeah, I know. That's why when I criticize Israel, it's never about the religion itself, because I know that the same thing goes for any religion. And whenever I criticize a government, I'll never attack the people, I'll never attack the religion. It's all about the individuals in lead of the government. Sounds like my friend who is Pikani along with indigenous. His hair grows extremely fast. You look great, thanks. Went to Wacken this summer, god damn. One of my best... Okay, let's talk about... just briefly something else. I just found out I'm 27% Swedish. Should I say I'm sorry because I'm Finnish? No. Like, it's a typical thing for Finns to hate on Swedes, but I'm not one of them, so... Jewish folks never had any form of influence in my life experience. I don't get it. Your thoughts? What? Like, one of my best metal concerts ever was in Sonisphere Pori in Finland, and I just like broken my knee, and I was with my, like, what do you call them? God fucking damn it! Like, I needed to walk with a cane, and it had rained like for a week in a row, and the whole field was muddy, and trying to hop there with my one leg to get into the front row to see Iron Maiden. Crutches, that's the one. Yeah, I got stuck on the mud, and I was literally probably like 50 meters from the stage, but it was Iron Maiden, so it was worth it. That was one of the best. I love Finland. Yeah, Finland is great. Friendly hate between Swedish and Finnish. Oh yeah. Sometimes it's friendly, but if we're talking about sports and ice hockey, then it's not. Sibling rivalry. 40 rock festivals being back, some memories. Oh yeah. Eddie. Iron Maiden is worth mild to moderate injuries. Oh yeah, 100%. I've seen Iron Maiden 6 times. No, 5 times. And Iron Maiden is still, even though you could argue that a lot of the songs sound the same, but like there's just something about Iron Maiden. Z, Angela, thanks for the follow. Especially live. If you see Iron Maiden, if you still are able to see Iron Maiden live, even though Nico McBrain had to unfortunately retire because he had a stroke and he really couldn't like do it properly anymore. I really encourage people to see Iron Maiden at least once. Wish I could see Black Sabbath. Last time I saw the some maniac Cave Bruce 12 flamethrowers. Goddamn. Thoughts on Alice in Chains? When I was younger, I wasn't a huge fan of Alice in Chains, but like I can listen to them now. It's not bad. AC/DC, Iron Maiden's live were amazing. The Sex Pistols I saw back in the 80s. Whoa. That's an experience. Free the world from Trump and Pipisco Bard. Cherry Central, one of the best guitarists. Jerry Cantrell. Hi, Elf. I remember seeing Guns N' Roses, Just a Piece of My Dad. Mötley Crüe, back in like early 2000s, was one of the wildest live concerts I've ever been, because people were like literally having sex in the audience. So yeah, that's kind of how was the SP live. Sähkösyömäri, thanks for the follow. No, I was reading that somebody saw Sex Pistols in the 80s. Like TikTok, I have Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook on another screen, so. And of course, TikTok doesn't allow me to join those chats, so you can't see them. I'd be lucky to have my hair as long as yours in 5 years, currently between 5 and 7 inches. Like my hair was longer a few years, like a while back, but I decided to cut it. Finland isn't Viking, I know. Viking is a job like a pirate, and Vikings were from Denmark, Norway mostly, and also Sweden. Mitä mestari? What up, sähkösyömäri? Trump doesn't respect the international law. No, he doesn't. He doesn't respect even his own laws. The US controls now the majority of the world oil reserves. Like, live with that. America wealth will triple. Okay, nice thing to drop by. Thanks. America now will be like Denmark are smuggling drugs to America through Greenland. Yeah. I already... I did a preemptive move, and I threw all of my like oil-based moisturizers away, because I don't want to be occupied and kidnapped from my house. So anything that had oil, like I had vegetable oil, I had olive oil, I had some oil-based hair products, and also like moisturizers. So I threw all of those out because I don't want to be occupied. Trump wants to steal the Venezuela petrol. Yeah, and that's why I got rid of all of that oil. What does the wealth matter if only the top 0.001% get to use it and the rest of the population is poor? How cold is going to be the new Cold War? It's going to be probably quite cold. Yeah, time to buy an EV so the US Army doesn't go after your engine. Yeah, probably. That too. America will control Greenland by the end of year 2026 and Alberta. You really like the imperialist colonizing version of the United States. Americans are arguing whether the president of Congress can break the law. Is it cold right now in Finland? Just hit -31 here in Estonia. I'm in Ireland, so in Ireland we have -1. In Finland they have -21, I think, or something like that. I got a picture from my brother this morning. I've lived in Ireland for 3 years already. I will just move to Iceland and chill there probably. What's the prospect of G2 now? In Denmark it's -4. Yeah, Ireland is quite nice. Why did you leave Finland if like Finland is so great to live in? Well, it's because nobody asked that, but like it's because of my kids. At Kilpisjärvi, they got the most cold temperature of the winter at like -43. That's just peanuts. Ireland is left-leaning. So fucking what? Ireland has been too cold today. No. Studying there. No, I work here. I've been working for 3 years already. And my wife as well. I love your streams, especially when I'm recovering from a knee surgery at this week. Oh, yeah, Mike. That was so fucking clever. Bye. By the way, Canada should be the Maple States of America. Come on. -3 Netherlands. Yeah, -2 kids stuck home 2 days and my car stuck outside at the estate. And more snow coming until Sunday. Yeah, it is wild that all the schools and everything is closed when you have -1, -2, and a bit of snow. Like, we have people here from Denmark and from Estonia and Finland. Like, even if you have -20 and fucking knee-height snow, you still go to school. -27 Alberta, Canada. Trump pedophile #1. Okay, that was a bit of a change in conversation. Finland, it's a bit boring. Nah, it's not. -30, we still go to school and work. Yeah, I mean, one snowflake and the Netherlands grinds to halt. It's the same here in Ireland. Like, literally. Oh no, it's -1. Shut down the whole fucking city. -8 in Zurich and my car battery died. I mean, I don't know what car you have, but I had an electric vehicle. I had 2 electric vehicles in Finland, like mine, small Fiat 500, and our Kia, which my wife used, and they never froze. Like, the batteries didn't die in like -20. But that electric Fiat 500, like, that's so fucking cool. One of my favorite cars ever. My local shop has run out of food, 2 of them. I ordered Tesco for Thursday. Hope they have snow tires. I mean, our Tesco, I ordered Tesco home delivery and they cancelled, and like twice. -70 today in Helsinki. It's -18 here where I am in Finland in south. We dig out our attics to go to school. Which island was we talking about? Northern? No, Republic of Ireland. On the Irish side, not the British side. The AI videos of DJ Maduro are amazing. Are there AI videos of DJ Maduro? Apparently there are. I need to mute them because YouTube stream doesn't really like, YouTube Live doesn't really like those. They're gonna flag them instantly. Missed a bread today in Super Value. I prefer cold over wet rain cold. I prefer cold as well. Isn't Jethro Tull Irish? That's a good question. I should probably know. My neighbor has her car BYD parked on an incline in front of her house. She was shoveling the drive. No way she's going anywhere. As a Brit, we need Trump here to sort out boats. Oh, we have one of these. You guys want to talk about Elon Musk? We can talk about a bit about your favorite tech oligarch. Elon Musk. Grok making PDF photos. Can I do this? There we go. Here's the topic. So Elon Musk has a bit of an issue. And Elon Musk's issue is that, I don't know if you use X, but X has had a lot of content recently that people have just prompted Grok to put bikinis on people. But there's a bit of an issue that they put a lot of bikinis on children in Grok. And of course, Elon Musk gets a lot of shit about this because, you know, that's not okay. Well, I'm a kid. So Elon Musk's comeback for that is like, that is of course completely not allowed, and anyone who's doing that will be sentenced. But he didn't like disable that. You can still do that in Grok. Maybe we should make Trump Lego figures as an emperor. Grok, is this true? The problem is that people are worried about other country politics instead of their own internal affairs. Grok is good, but it's terrible that's possible. Musk is, I mean, Musk is kind of a interesting figure. He's becoming the one thing that he hated and he fought against. He's literally becoming Soros. And he doesn't understand the irony of that. The greatest achievement of the 20th century was the Universal Declaration of Basic Human Rights. Hopefully this new generation will uphold it. I wouldn't be holding my breath considering what's happening. For someone who isn't aware what Grok is, what is it? Grok is Twitter's, and now known as X, its own AI. So that's what Grok is. AI is making everything possible, good and bad, but the bad is really bad. The bad is fucking horrible. And Musk is facing a bit of an issue because a lot of people are undressing normal civilians who aren't like celebrities or politicians or anyone. And they are also undressing a lot of politicians and a lot of celebrities. And unfortunately, because it is Elon Musk's platform, he can't really hide behind that, hey, it's an AI, and I can't really do anything about it. You're my World of Warcraft Elden Ring future, bro. Grok tries to talk like your body, 100%. Why would Grok have the function in the first place? I mean, it's Elon Musk, so he probably thinks it's fucking hilarious. As they say, you live long enough to become the villain, something like that. Giving trolls in Mud Hut Starlink. Thanks, Ellen. Degrading images of children and women with their clothes digitally removed by Grok AI continue to be shared on Elon Musk's X, despite the platform's commitment to suspend users for generating them. After days of concerns over use of the chatbot to alter photographs to create sexualized pictures of real women and children stripped to their underwear without their consent, the UK's communications watchdog Ofcom said on Monday that it had made urgent contact with X and XAI to understand what steps they have taken to comply with their legal duties to protect users in the UK. Ofcom had added that it would assess whether the investigation is necessary based on the company's response. Well, they didn't really do anything. What are we discussing? We're discussing Elon Musk Grok making PDF photos. Wonder if Grok will do it with minors. Oh yeah, they already did that. Starlink, SpaceX, Neuralink, they all seem like good ideas. They seemed like good ideas in the beginning, but then when you have a psychopath managing them that does like politics based on his level of ketamine inside him. Did anyone see that fighting robot demo during the training demo? It kicked the instruction. It's the first. But yeah, this would be illegal, thus defamation in Finland if done. But US has very lax defamation laws. That is true, but if Elon Musk once again wants to operate in EU region, or if he wants to operate in any country's region, he needs to obey those countries' regulations and laws. Meanwhile, politicians and women's rights campaigners accused the UK government of dragging its heels by failing to enact legislation that was passed 6 months ago and making creation of such intimate images illegal. The trend, which went viral over the New Year period, also prompted the European Commission to say Monday that it was very seriously looking into complaints that Grok was being used to generate and disseminate sexually explicit childlike images. And I reiterate, Musk has done nothing to remove those. Musk is in the US federal government was amazing. I mean, he did absolutely nothing. Grok achieved absolutely nothing. Starlink is a good idea, but it shouldn't be owned and controlled by one person. One guy having this much power is so dystopian. Yeah, that is my issue, Echo, as well. What's your view on Soros? I have an issue whenever there's not even a billionaire, but like one that's closer to a trillionaire than a billionaire controlling narratives and people and politics. whether it's George Soros or whether it's the Rothschilds or whether it's Elon Musk. Every time EU tax, so just dropping by for a sec. Are you coming home already, Alisa? Every time EU tax or regulate his immoral tech must go all out on EU's against the European people. Yeah. But Loki, the thing is like Musk paid hundreds of millions for Trump's candidacy. So he wants return on investment. So that's the reason why he can go against EU. And also because Musk doesn't have as much business interest in EU compared to like Russia and China. So if you didn't know, guys, X is banned completely in Russia, and it's also completely banned in China. But Musk doesn't talk bad about Russia and China because he has a lot of business interests there. And if he talks bad about them, he would lose those business. So he can't talk bad about Europe, the European Union, but he can't talk bad about Russia and China. If anything, the people are asking for these saucy pictures on X are the problem. Oh yeah, 100%. They are also the problem. But we have to understand that they wouldn't do this if it wasn't enabled, you know. You can disable the whole thing until you figure out how you can just limit that specific section of it. I know Mr. Soros personally. He's a great person. No Rumpelstiltskin, but the most Russian thing I have ever read was a Russian chess robot broke a kid's finger during a match. If anything, just stop Kroll from altering pictures. Yeah, stop Krok from altering pictures at all. But that's not freedom of speech. Fuck that. You want to see? Oh yeah, TikTok can't see those, but like I can show YouTube people. Put a bikini. I need to be careful that I don't accidentally okay, that was a horrible search term. Delete that, delete. Holy. Yeah, I typed put a bikini on it. That didn't go well. But it was a fraction of a second, so if you fucking managed to screen capture that, my man. X is just so fucking weird. We want to alter pictures though, but Photoshop it's a good tool, but it can't be used for bad. I mean, if Grok could do that privately, there was no nudity, I think, so you're safe. Yeah, there was no nudity, and there was no underage, like, there was no children in that search, so should be fine. But Grok can do the same thing. Like, if you go to Grok, like, you can ask Grok to create images privately. So there's no reason why Grok is doing that publicly, you know? Things can be redacted. We all learned from Epstein files. Europeans should make a statement to US citizens like, you either fight or you die. Okay, let's not escalate this thing anymore. Things can be redacted. Do you know about the Vatnik sub guy? Yeah, I do. I do. Like any Jew, the safety and harm rests with the user. What? No. That's where I completely disagree. This is what Musk did to Europe. Yeah. I can disagree. For example, if a phone is a tool. If a phone manufacturer does a fault battery and it explodes, is that the fault of the user? How can I securely use that phone if it explodes? I have to go. See you in the next stream. Hey, thanks for dropping by, Ego. Spending time. You know, W mute. Like the manufacturer of the tool is responsible for the safety. Well, in that case, it would be the user. X became very adult content fast, but they added the option to block it. Obviously, they can block what they want. Or Israel, I guess. But I mean, Grok being openly like this, that you can use Grok and like trigger Grok to generate videos or pictures about like any post that we have here. It doesn't need to be like that. Wait a fucking second. Is Elon Musk seriously retweeting Lauren Chen, who was part of the fucking Russian network that was channeling money to influencers from Tenet Media? Okay, well, we know where Elon lies now. Hey W, thanks for the follow. Both my parents and grandparents are German. I am 100% American. He's pinning it on the users. This is also another what I thought that would happen. You don't have to trick it. It's completely open, unlike others like OpenAI and Gemini. Restrictions harm legitimate users too. But I mean, you can click Grok here. You can, like, if you want to create images, you can create them privately here. Like, why isn't this the option? This would be the solution as well. If Elon can protect that their fucking pedophiles on that platform isn't using Grok for child pornography openly, they could go here and use it. I said shorten hair on a picture and it removed all the clothes too. I mean, it's working as Elon Musk intended it, so. So, Elon Musk is now retweeting a known Russian asset that paid Penny Johnson, Tim Pool, and others hundreds of thousands to spout Russian propaganda. Nice. It's not like Elon has a team looking at every image generated. I mean, there's a reason why the Grok profile. Oh, they still have media here. Okay, I can't even fucking show this. They returned that. Yesterday that was disabled. If you want to see the most unhinged shit, because Grok is a profile. Grok is a profile in Twitter. So if you go to Grok's profile and you click media, it used to be photos. Yes, 2 days ago. If you click that fucking media and you go through that, there's some really unhinged shit there. And that's a Twitter user profile. What Grok is doing, you can generate PDF photos with Grok. So that's a bit of an issue. I wonder what will happen if we let AI platforms cross-police each other. Jesus Christ. I mean, it is just wild. Maybe it's a secret tier he has for people like Trump and like that car's adult voice. It glitched. If I put myself on full screen on YouTube as well. Yeah. Did I remember to put myself on PDF photos? What's bad about them? You do know what PDF photos mean. what PDF doesn't mean. Yeah. I was trying to be polite. Have you heard of Grokpedia? Yeah, I have. And that's because Elon Musk also hates Wikipedia. A hate boner towards Wikipedia, as always. It's like crepe. Yeah. What will be the next Terminator movie? I mean, I lost interest in the Terminator movie after the third one. That's why usually you're supposed to use it like a PDF file. And if you now read it, so Grok is making pictures of presidents and other politicians and children. Ootko AIPAKin palkkalistalla? Fuck no. Fuck no. No. My safe word for you guys. If you ever have a feeling that I sold out, if I ever start praising genocide and saying that what Israel is doing is okay, you know that I sold out. That's my safe word. That's also, I think, Dave Chappelle's safe word. I mean, a picture of most politicians is a picture of a PDF. Okay, you want the internet, LaRue. You want the internet, I have to say. The thing is, many don't know what Israel was before World War II. I mean, there's a reason for that. If you look at, like, historical maps and such. It was a surprisingly slow... Oh my fucking god, okay. Back to Maduro, apparently. Who pays you for doing this? Nobody. I work. I have a job that pays really well. And I like talking with people I don't know about stuff that interests me. So nobody's paying me for this. This is kind of like my hobby. Just like some people like to, I don't know, drink or hunt or skateboard or do stuff like that. I like to talk to random people about stuff that I'm interested in. I didn't realize it myself until I researched it fully. Did you know? Did you know? Not that nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. And right now you can save up to £50 per person. That's £200 for a family of 4. No, that wasn't the thing. Sorry, and that wasn't an ad. Even though that was kind of an ad, but I don't get paid for that ad, so I'm a dumb person. I just had to do that. So, did you know that Trump didn't... let's go back to Venezuela. So Trump didn't notify Congress because they said that they are leakers. We appreciate you, bro. I think you're a cool guy. I'm at loss with Israel. Why are they getting away with all the atrocities? It beats me. I mean, they have one of the strongest shields to stand behind. You think Greenland is next? No, fuck no. Colombia's gonna be next. The president of Colombia said too much. They call the United States a country of pedophiles, and that Trump is doing this only because of the files. User, thanks for the follow. But Congress wasn't notified for the attack on Venezuela and the possible abduction of the alleged president and the president's wife, Maduro. But do you know who was notified? Do you know who was notified before the attack and after the attack? So if Congress wasn't notified, do you know who was notified? Musk wasn't notified, but probably Musk was also. Trump said this today in on board of the Air Force One. This is Trump saying, and this is coming from Trump. And why I'm speaking about it is because what I'm reading that came 36 minutes ago. Trump notified the oil companies. They notified the fucking private oil companies of the United States before they did the attack on Venezuela and abducted the president. Exxon, yeah. And others, because there's many. And why I'm talking about this now is because Trump's admin is about to meet with the top US oil executives to report them what's going on. Following the capture, arrest, and detention of Nicolas Maduro, the Trump admin is set to meet with the US oil execs, according to a report from Reuters, citing a source familiar with the matter. The aim is to revitalize the oil production comes after nearly 2 decades of control by Venezuela. So even before they meet with Congress to debrief, they're fucking meeting with the oil companies. Why don't Europeans use underarm deodorant? What the hell are you talking about? They aren't even pretending this time. I mean, they're quite open about this time. Like, at least Bush tried. At least Bush tried to say, yeah, it's weapons of mass destruction. What were the people of Venezuela going to do with oil? I mean, they should have sold a bit more. It goes back to Bush and Obama. It wasn't just Trump. I mean, they were already selling it to China and Russia. Unfortunately, their dictator didn't really do a really good job of like redistributing the wealth. Slapper, this is not news. This is well-known stuff surrounding this. That's been taking place for like actually longer than a decade. The people of Venezuela seem pretty excited. Again, one of these. US did exactly what Russia did. I am controller for big oil. They sit on their reserve but cannot access it. This action is bipartisan scam. It was rhetorical. Okay, sorry. But it kind of shows you who's again pulling the strings in the back. And it's the fucking oil companies. Again. The reason they cannot access this is because they need the first world big oil companies to help. I mean, Chevron already was in Venezuela, though. They've already done it for decades. Not as successfully, because the rigs that they were using were like from the fucking 80s. Brent crude oil reserves. Yeah, yes, all American believe Europe doesn't use deodorant. Not kidding. Oh, that's cool. We do, though. They do not have the ability to access it. I mean, it has been since the 50s, big oil and the mill industrial complex. That's what Trump was butthurt, because the US oil companies went there, set up a shop, and then the Venezuelan government kicked them out. My company, along with 2 others, were the ones that assisted them in the 70s. When they were rolling in the dough, the national assess. Hey guys, I just got a message from my daughter telling me that it is time to call it quits because she needs some daddy-daughter time. So, my boss, if you ask like who is paying me and who is controlling me, it's my daughters and of course my wife. The US were getting 100% from the oil, nothing to the country that owned it. All the world leaders are hanging out of Trump's arse. Okay, cool story. But yeah, so one of my boss who is controlling me in the back, you know, the puppet master. It was fun, and we're going to do it again, of course. And thanks for everyone again joining. There was a lot of people in YouTube and Twitch and Also in TikTok. We had some good conversations. So Dionysus, thanks for the follow. Remember to follow if you want to talk about more. Hopefully, the political spectrum is going to clear out a bit. We talked today about Iran, about the Israeli situation, and also about different topics than just Venezuela. So it sure ain't you, Barber. Okay, thanks. Bye from Scotland. Bye from Ireland. Have a great rest of the day, rest of the morning, night, wherever you are. Over 6,000 users of petroleum everyday products. Back to cat videos. Back to cat videos. I mean, it's either politics or cat videos. I do share that. I do share that. Have a great rest of the day, night, morning, wherever you are. See you guys. You jerk.